Welcome back to the next part of Act 1, Scene 2 of Macbeth. In our previous video, we had seen how Macbeth had slain the traitor rebel MacDonald and how the captain who was injured narrated the entire incident to King Duncan. Now let us find out what happens. King, dismayed not this our captains Macbeth and Banquo? Now the king asks the injured captain whether his captains, his brave captains Macbeth and Banquo, were not worried or dismayed because of this fresh assault that was started, that was unleashed on them by the king Sweno, the Norwegian king Sweno. The captain answers, again drawing similes, yes, as sparrows, eagles, or the hare, the lion. So the man says that yes, it did dismay them, and he sarcastically points out that as an eagle is dismayed to see a sparrow and a lion is dismayed to see a hare. So what he tries to say is that they were not worried or troubled by this fresh assault. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks. So they had, the captains Macbeth and Banquo, they had also charged themselves like cannons, cannons carrying double shots. So they doubly redoubled. So they hugely increased. Doubly redoubled means hugely increased strokes upon the foe. They increased their intensity of attack on the enemy. Upon the foe means on the enemy. Except they meant to bathe in reeking woods or memorize another Golgotha. I cannot tell. So he's not sure. They were so fierce in their fighting that the captain says, I'm not sure whether they were willing to bathe in bleeding woods or they wanted everyone to remember another Golgotha. Golgotha is an allusion to the crucifixion of Christ. Golgotha is another name for the place Calvary where Christ was crucified. And he says, but I'm faint, my gashes cry for help. So he says that his wounds are now, he feels exhausted, he's faint, he's tired, he's too tired to continue and he has nothing more to report. He does not have the result of the battle. He had seen them fighting, but he doesn't know what is the result of the fresh assault. And he says, my gashes cry out for help. So here is another personification, his wounds as if open mouths, and these wounds are crying out for help. The king is pleased with the man's account, with the soldier's account. He says, so will thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. So he says, your words as well as your wounds speak or taste of honor. They show honor, valor. Go get him surgeons. And he instructs the attendants to call surgeons to help this soldier recover. And the king sees, when the captain exits, he suddenly sees someone approaching towards him. He sees Ross and Angus. They are also Thanes of Scotland. Who comes here? So they are a little far away. He is unable to see specifically who they were. Malcolm, the worthy Thane of Ross. So Malcolm says, this is the worthy Thane of Ross. Lennox. Lennox was present with them, remember? He was also listening to the captain's account. He says, what a haste looks through his eyes. The Thane of Ross, his eyes look unsettled. So should he look that seems to speak things strange. And he says that he should look like this because it appears that he has brought in strange news. So his appearance reveals that he is carrying strange message. God save the king. So Ross kneels and addresses the king and says, God save the king. King, whence camest thou, worthy Thane? So he says, when did you arrive, worthy Thane? Ross says, from Fife. Fife is in east coast of Scotland. He is coming from there, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. So he says, I am coming from Fife, where the Norwegian soldiers have come in and they have raised their banners, and looking at those banners, the people, the citizens are in fear. So he fan our people cold means he uses a visual imagery. The people are scared because the Norwegian banners should not be present in Scotland. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict. So now more news, more conspiracies are being unfolded. It is seen that Norway himself, the king of Norway himself, that is Svenno, with terrible numbers means with huge numbers of soldiers, they have come in, and the Norwegian king has been assisted by the most disloyal traitor, by a traitor, and that is the reason why he could catch us off guard. That is the reason why he could enter our lands. And who was this traitor? This traitor was the Thane of Cawdor. And all these treacherous acts have led to this dismal, this sad conflict. Till that Bellona's bridegroom, Lapton Proof, confronted him with self-comparisons. So this was the scenario until Bellona's bridegroom. Bellona's bridegroom is whom? It is Macbeth. Bellona is the Roman god of war, and Macbeth appears as the husband of Bellona. He, with fierce force, Lapton Proof means he was dressed in impenetrable armor. He was dressed in armor, and he confronted these soldiers, he confronted the king with self-comparisons. That is, his fighting spirit, his bravery can only be compared to him. No one else comes in comparison with Macbeth's heroism. Point against point, rebellious arms against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And to conclude, the victory fell on us. So he brings good news. He says that Macbeth's fierce fighting, point against point, he did not miss a single point. He had fought against all the rebellious arms, and arm against arm. That is, he was a fit match for these rebellious traitors. And he could curb, he could diminish the grand spirit of the Norwegian king, who thought he could take over Scotland, who could take over the land from Duncan. And to conclude, the victory fell on us because of Macbeth's bravery and his expertise on the battlefield. They could secure victory. Scotland could secure victory. King is overjoyed. He says, great happiness. Ross says that now Svenno, the Norway's king, craves composition. So now Svenno, the king of Norway, he is requesting for a treaty. Nor would we dine him burial of his men till he disbursed at St. Colm's Inch $10,000 to our general use. So Ross says that he should also be justly punished for this audacity of trying to capture a portion of Scotland. He should pay $10,000 for the general use of the Scottish crown. And he says that they will not dine, that is, treat him worthy to even bury his soldiers, his men, till he disbursed, till he gave out at St. Colm's Inn. That is, disbursed is paid out at St. Colm's Inch it is Inchcolm, a small island near Edinburgh. There he should meet and give out $10,000 for the general use of the crown. Now the king says, no more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. It is ironic. Why? We will come to that later. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth. So the king of Scotland, Duncan, condemns the Thane of Cawdor, the present Thane of Cawdor, and he orders his death. And he says that Macbeth will be greeted with the new title. He will now become the Thane of Cawdor. And Ross says, I'll see it done. I will make every arrangement so that this title falls on Macbeth. The last line of the scene is the king says, what he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won. Unconsciously, he is echoing the ominous prophecy of the witches. What does this mean? The witches had said that Macbeth would lose as well as win a battle. This is the battle that Macbeth has won. Then what did he lose? Which battle did Macbeth lose? In order to find that out, stay tuned and do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more such interesting explorations. I will meet you all in the next video. Thank you for watching.